have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, that my life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
It didn't take me too long to realize it. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and this is the 230th episode. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a kind of a side note right here up front. We are running wild without Kate for the first part of this episode. She had just a little bit of her other job that she needed to take care of for just a few moments, and then she will be right down at the controls doing what she does. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, it's just you and I, and we're here and we can do whatever we want. We can run crazy, and we're in control here, obviously. Welcome. This is the 230th episode. This is the episode where we are going to discuss the report that the Ridenour administration put forward. The Ridenour administration put forward a report just basically a couple of days, I think maybe a day or two after the report was taken during the Dan camp up in Angola, and it talked about the strengths and weaknesses. In my interpretation, it really focused on the weaknesses of Ridenour's team, of the Ridenour administration, and so we're going to be discussing what they put forward, and you know, my interpretation of those, and you're all free to comment. Before we get into the show, as always, we want to remind you that while we call this a show and it is a program and whatnot, we very much consider this to be a community here. But it is more than a community. It is a program, and there's a couple of us that work hard to put the information forward, and it's like a partnership. We're here to put the information forward. You're here, and your buy-in to this partnership is that you're here to listen and to engage, and hopefully to push the product out into the world. If you're here and you're watching via YouTube, we ask that you take a look at these things here on the side. Consider hitting the like button if you haven't. If you have not hit the like button, please consider doing so. And we understand that there are people watching here from YouTube. There are people here watching from TikTok. There are here people watching from Twitter and from Facebook. So really, this is only speaking to the YouTube people. Please hit that like button. If you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Doing so will then allow you to click the bell so you can set up notifications and know when we go live. But hey, who are we kidding? We normally go live 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is what it is. Obviously, we are a very interactive show. We do want you to comment. If you're here live, comment over there. If you're watching this in the future at your own time, please comment down there, and we will put these things up here on the screen at various points throughout this episode to remind you. If maybe you're like, I don't know if I want to give you my like already, we're going to wait and see. We will put these up to remind you a little bit later on. Something I haven't mentioned the last couple of episodes because we've just been too busy. We are on day 175 of no communication, no response from Muncie City Councilor Dale Basham. Dale Basham is one of the 9 Muncie City Councilors. He's one of the 3 at-large councilors, which means he is a councilor for everyone in the city of Muncie. There's no hierarchy of council members, but it just goes to speak to kind of what being an at-large council member is. If you're a council member of District 1 or of District 3 or District 6, you're the council person for the people of that district. Now you also represent the people all over the city, and you make votes and rules and decisions that affect everybody in the city. But if you're an at-large council member, you represent the entire city, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Republicans, Democrats, the whole 9 yards. The people that like you, the people that don't, the people that hold you accountable, the people that don't. And the fact that these council members have been in authority, they took their oath and they have been in office since January 1st, 2024. And it is now Monday, June 24th, 2024. We are now 175 days without a response, whether that be a response through text message, through phone call, through email, through Facebook Messenger. We have not had a response to questions that have been sent to Councilor Dale Basham. And so we await that, and we ask and hope and pray that Councilor Basham will one day respond as he should. And it's a gross embarrassment to myself, to him personally. It's a gross embarrassment, or it should be. It is an embarrassment to the council as a whole. It is an embarrassment to elected public servants. It is an embarrassment to the Republican Party. It is an embarrassment to Republicans and Democrats alike. It is an embarrassment to all elected officials everywhere when you have elected officials that will not interact with elected or with the constituents. So that's a sad thing. And we ask that all officials everywhere respond to their constituents in an appropriate fashion. Okay. So let's see what's happening here. I'm just now turned on the comments, so I apologize for that. I normally have Kate here helping me with this, but it is just me tonight. She will be here just momentarily. We are going to go through the Dan camp report and have all of that forward. For those of you that have been interested to see what the thumbnail is, the moment the Space Cat first started talking about the thumbnail, I had an idea for it straight away. I have to say, the thumbnail did not come out the way that it did in my head. It just didn't look the way that I hoped it would. However, it conveys the message, but it's not as good as I hoped it would have been. We normally do pretty well with the thumbnails here. But here's the thumbnail for the show. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, this is a South Park reference. All of the heads of the administrative people there are on South Park character bodies. Now, you can just barely see that, and you can see that, you know, they're obviously in a classroom. Hopefully, you can see that they're in a classroom. That's the setting there. That is a classroom. It's the South Park setting, where, for example, Mr. Basham here, his head is on Kenny. Oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastards. Shireen Wegley's head is on Cartman. I don't know which one Kyle is. I don't know if Kyle's Adam or Mr. Wegley is Kyle, but then the other characters throughout there, I don't really know the South Park characters. I haven't watched South Park in 30 years, however long it's been. So I know nothing about South Park, but the moment that Space Cat was talking, I was like, yes, I want to put their heads on the South Park bodies. But the thing that didn't work is the South Park people are so small that putting their heads on, first of all, their heads weren't plump enough to cover the heads of the characters. So I had to make them big enough. And by doing that, it covered too much of the body. So that's a whole bunch of chaos and craziness, but it is what it is there. So Stan is the other one. Yeah, Basham is Kenny. and I will tell you, the only I like that, Alva. I see that there, Alva. The only one I did, well, there were two people that I did purposefully. Obviously, I was not going to stick Mr. Ivy's head like on Cartman. So that's that. But I put Mr. Ivy's head where it was appropriate. And then the only other person that I did that I put any kind of thought into whatsoever was I put Shireen's head on Cartman. So I did what I did there. It is what it is. That's the thumbnail. It could have been better. It was so much better in my head than what it actually turned out to be. So that is that. All right. Here's the deal. We are going to get into the rundown on the Dan camp, the little report that they put forward, I'm tripping over my words. But we are going to wait for Kate to appear to do that. I do want Kate to be a part of that. Most importantly, she has the slides that we put together for you all to see. So we are going to wait for Kate. She should be here momentarily. While we wait on her, we are going to go ahead. I put So the description of this episode was basically just two quick thing. Well, was one quick thing, and then the discussion of the report from Dan Camp. So the description for this episode is in this episode we will be reviewing the report that the City of Muncie released detailing the strengths and weaknesses of Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour's administration. And we will be going over the upcoming July 1st Muncie City Council meeting agenda. And so while we wait on Kate, we will go ahead and get the council meeting agenda discussion out of the way. So let me go ahead and pull this up here so you guys can see that. And we will get started. Let me put this on the page here and blow it up to where you guys can see it. That's probably of importance. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can you see that? Yes, you should be able to see that. Here's the agenda of the Muncie City Common Council for July 1st. Now, I do want to put a caveat here really quickly, and basically this is for Stumblefoot. I probably could have contacted you publicly. I have not forgot, sir, the park ordinance that I told you that I would be working on. I am about halfway done with that. Things got busy, as they often do. We got into the state stuff and whatnot. I need to finish that. I was hoping to have that done for this meeting. I give you my word. I will have that done and ready to send to you for your review and for you to add anything that you so choose. And then you can send it on to, I have not forgot you. I promise you. I am going to send that to you for you to see if there's anything you want to add, and then to see if there was anything else that we needed to do with it, and then let you take that to the counselor of your choosing. And once you send that off, or if you want help with that, whatever, we can then launch into doing what we need to do, which is, in my opinion, we need to bombard the counselor members and say, hey, we want this done. We think that this needs to happen. So I'm going to do that. We're going to do that. And we will have that ready. Real quickly, I want to show you before we get started, Muncie City Council. Let's see here. I probably messed that up. I knew I would. Let's do it this way. City of Muncie. We're going to pull that website up. We will go to the council meeting, City Council, and that will then take us to the sorry, let me make sure I can find this here real quick. Forms. Okay. It's not in plans. Unofficial. Not there. Rules. Not there. Miscellaneous documents. Okay, yeah, right here we are. I want to show you this here. That way people are aware. I don't know. A lot of people might not know this. So this is probably a good thing to show. Really briefly before we get into that agenda. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the deadlines, the filing date, deadline, and the council meetings. So, for example, for each council meeting that there is, for this upcoming July 1st council meeting, in order to have something on the agenda by the July 1st council meeting, it needed to be presented and signed off on, and all of the documentation needed to be in order by June 17th. So in order for something to be taken care of, and be appearing on the August 5th council meeting, it will need to go through all of the proper channels, and it will need to have been presented, and everything will need to be taken care of by Monday, the 22nd of July. So basically, that's 2 weeks. Every 2 Mondays before the council meeting, that's the filing deadline. So I will jump on everything with the rest of the park board or the park ordinance, and we will get that ready so we can get that on, hopefully get that on the agenda. I mean, we can do everything that we can do. They can still decide to not do it or whatever, but we can push for it so that it could hopefully be on the agenda for a reading in the August 5th. So I will stay with you, and I will keep you posted on that. Do you hear me? Okay, you couldn't hear me when I was saying, can you hear me now? Just a second ago? Okay, good. All right, so there I was. I don't know why that says that. The browser has lost connection to your screen share. Oh, I see. I see what that is. Okay. So that's that. Now, Kate is joining us before we get into. Okay, let me ask you this. What did you just hear that I did? What did I say? That's weird that Kate thinks she can't hear me, but Alva and them saying they could. Okay, so they could not hear. You guys did not hear me say the alphabet right there, correct? Okay, good. All right, good. So right. You can hear me now. All right, good. We're still good. So Kate is here. Before we get into the Dan Camp, I just want to go through this agenda just briefly. So here's the July 1st agenda. Regular meeting, there is no public hearing, so the meeting starts at 7 p.m. on the first floor of City Hall. They'll go through the Pledge of Allegiance, the invocation, and the citizen recognition, as they always do. They will then go through the roll call, the approval of the minutes, and the appointments to boards and commissions, if there are any. They will go through committee reports, if there are any. And then next up, they will go through ordinances previously introduced. These ordinances are ordinances that were read and voted on either in the last meeting or a previous meeting to tonight. So ordinance 1124, 1224, 1324 are ordinances that were all, these ordinances specifically, were all talked about and voted on at the last meeting. So 1124 is an ordinance to vacate a portion of a certain right-of-way of the City of Muncie, Delaware County, Indiana. That was discussed last meeting. 2024 is an ordinance amending the 2024-2023 ordinance fixing the maximum salary of each and every appointed officer, employee, deputy assistant, department, and institutional head of the city of Muncie, Indiana, included herein for the year 2024. Okay, now that is for the AFSCME raise, and I cannot tell you where we stand on that. I know that AFSCME has currently been in talks with the administration. From what I have heard from a few sources that I have ran across in the last couple of weeks, talks have been going okay, but I don't know that they have reached. I don't know that they have reached a finality yet. I don't know that they've reached an agreement. So, in my opinion, this should be tabled until that happens. So, I'm hoping. If by July 1st, if they've made an agreement, vote for this. If they have not, this needs to be tabled. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No discussion needs to be had. The answer is, have we made an agreement? Have we reached an agreement? If so, cool, table it. If we have not, if so, vote on it. If we have not, table it. It's that easy. Moving on, Ordinance 1324, an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the F Farming Zone to the 2 Intense Industrial Zone to the MHP Mobile Home Park Zone on premises located at 2800 West Memorial Drive, Muncie, Indiana. And that's just that. It is what it is. All right. Next, moving on to new ordinances, 1415. An ordinance to amend the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R4 Resident Zone to the BC Community Business Zone on premises located at 1300 South Liberty Street. I don't know what 1300 South Liberty Street is. Let me pull this up here really quickly, and we'll take a look at what this is. Okay, so 1300 South Liberty Street, ladies and gentlemen, is the Full Gospel Temple. So that's what that is. That's that area, and that we've been hearing about that in government meetings here as of late. Moving on, Ordinance 1524, an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie's Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R4 Residential Zone to the R5 Residential Zone for lots 10 and 11, Block 9 and Lot 12 in Block 10 of Henry C. Martin's addition to the City of Muncie. So I don't know where exactly this is. I'm going to have to look into this and see what that is, but it sounds pretty clear cut basically with what it is. Next, moving on to the resolutions, Resolution 5-24, a resolution reaffirming the support of the Muncie Land Bank and encouraging city funding to be provided in the 2025 proposed municipal budget. And basically, we're just gearing up for the budget time that's getting ready to be coming up. I cannot believe that we're here already. Most people look for like Memorial Day, Labor Day, the first snow, the first thawing of the winter. I look and tell how fast time is going by how quickly budget time comes around. Budget time is some of the driest time in government, while also being some of the most important. And it just blows my mind how quickly every time this comes up, you talk about it, start talking about it in June or July. They start really knuckling down and dealing with it in September. It has to be voted on before November 1st. It takes effect January 1st. By the time January 1st comes around, boom, bang, pow, we're already in July dealing with it again. And it just blows my mind. So that's all this is. Moving on from there, we go into tabled ordinances and or resolution. And of course, Ordinance 6-24, an ordinance to restrict the use of groundwater in certain areas. It was introduced on April 1st. Went to the Environmental Impact Committee meeting held on May 1st, and nothing's happened with that. We then go into other business and adjournment. I will be speaking during other business. I do have some things that I want to address to the council. Now, Stumblefoot or Alva, and a lot of times I like both of these guys, and they're both very different, but I like them as viewers and as friends. I count them both as friends, but they have a lot of similar content and comments, and I can appreciate that. But I when I'm off screen, I get them confused sometimes for the comments. One of them asked a moment ago if I planned on suing for being kicked out of the Dan camp. I have communications into attorneys, 2 different attorneys that I trust, and I have communications into them, and we've got a couple of things that we're going to kind of judge that by. So that's kind of where we stand on that. I can't say yes or no currently where we stand, but I'm not saying no by any stretch of the imagination. I am not saying no. So yeah, I know who you are as people. What I'm saying is when you comment, and if I'm watching a meeting earlier in the day and one of you have said some smart-ass comment, by the time we get to the show, I'm like, now which one of these smartasses made this comment? It's Alva. It's yeah. Charlize, yeah, absolutely. I tell you, I really was happy when I heard Nora, Counselor Powell, say that she had told some people about the meeting and to go, because if there were several of us that traveled up there, I think the city would have been in a serious spot. Now, I will tell you, I do have a secret. I've got a secret that I can't talk about just yet. I'm hoping to be able to talk about this secret soon. And I will tell you, number one, you guys are going to love it. No matter what happens here, you guys are going to love it. There's a way that it could be absolutely freaking magical. And it could be such an amazing event, and we could have the great thing. It would be amazing. There's another way that it would be like, all right, and it's not so cool, but you'll love it either way. But we cannot disclose it yet. I'm waiting, because if I disclosed it, it would certainly not work. It would just be over. So the only people there's only 3 people, well, 4 people, myself, Kate, Brandon, and an attorney that knows about this. So, and it's nothing to do with a lawsuit or anything like that, but it's got to do with Dan Camp and everything. So I'll keep you guys posted. And hopefully we will know soon. Maybe by this week, we should know. So I'll keep you posted there. Okay. It is time now to get into the conversation that Space Cat has been waiting on since the 7th and 8th of this month. What we learned at Dan Camp, and I've got to say, I'm really fortunate for Kate and Brandon, and that they're on the team, because while I was up there and dealing with a lot of this, they almost immediately started going through this stuff and started looking through this stuff, and this is kind of like Brandon's strong suit, looking through graphs and different things like that. He loves doing that. Kate likes that kind of heavy research, and so they both have worked hard on this, and Kate has worked hard. I want to bring it to your attention just briefly what we're talking about. Obviously, after the Dan camp on Friday, when they were telling us, when I was in there with the video, and they're telling us like, oh, this is such a, we want everything to be secretive, and we don't want anybody to know what we're talking about, and all of this just this crap, essentially, just ludicrous what was going on, essentially, because they were scared that they wouldn't be able to talk freely, and they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to convey what they were thinking, and yada yada yada. Well, matter of fact, before we get into it, I'll just take you back and show you just briefly what happened. Okay, so this is what happened Friday night, the night of the first meeting. Hmm.
Bilbrey, it's muted. We can't
You
hear anything.
You
from
can't
that.
hear it at all?
Can't hear the video, no.
Damn it. Okay, hold on one second. Let me do this again here.
I tried to unmute it, and it said that the guest wasn't capturing audio.
Share tab. Okay. Okay.
Well, he'll get it.
Who was it?
Okay, this one doesn't have it muted down here when I'm at the bottom.
Okay, tell me if you can hear this.
You're not.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the personalities of the people in here. So
Can you hear it?
You're good.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Hi, how's it going? You all right?
doing fine.
Good.
And this is a team building,
Absolutely. I'm here listening.
but it's not subject to open door.
Well, it's
According-
interesting because they had made that mention at the council meeting, and before I left City Hall today, the report here, I want to told you guys still had it posted.
Yeah.
So
Well, this is team building. Team building is not subject to any open law. We could have all 9 council
Sure.
members for team building. This is about personality,
Yeah.
strength, so can't be are open to the public.
We are
Yes.
2 hours north of Muncie. I mean, does it hurt anything to be here? What's it hurt to be here?
Chris, you're not, we want to talk about the personalities of the people in here so that we can help us. And I don't want anybody to feel like they shouldn't say something.
Why
Because
would they
it will
feel
get-
like they should?
because sometimes things get extrapolated into photographs that maybe aren't even real, that are, you know what I mean.
Sure.
So,
Dan needs to. Dan, I'm calling Dan out man to man. Like literally, I'm calling you out as a man. Quit the bullshit. Quit. You're not talking. You're not on Wall Street. You're not trading stocks. You're not explaining to me how things are being extrapolated out. I have not done what you're talking about. So if you, instead of hiding behind your fancy Dan, nomenclature, your words, explain to me what you think it is that I have done wrong to you. That's what I think's laughable about Dan Ridenour. Dan Ridenour, as the mayor of Muncie, ran to improve communication. He ran to improve accountability. He ran to make things better. He was going to be the white horse candidate. He was going to make things better, bigger, better, wonderful. Okay. He's the one that let us down. And he acts like I have let him down. Now, I don't twist around backwards and lick his asshole like everyone else does. Twice on Saturday, depending on if you're other people or not. But I have a reason not to. He specifically made me lie to people. And I have a major, major issue with that. So, I want him to, instead of doing this, I want him. Yeah, thanks, Charlie. I figured you needed to know that. I want him to come forward and explain what he's afraid we'll do. Okay. So, with that being said, I storm outside and talk to the door, talk to you all for a little bit. I leave and we do our thing. Saturday, I text him and I come back to Muncie. And as it was said here, the results of the psychological personality exam that they took beat me back to Muncie. Literally, like the stuff got back, they got up and the meeting started at 8:30 and they posted it at 8:22 on Saturday morning. And what that looked like, what was this? Okay. And so essentially it says the team from Fortify Leads did an excellent job with the first training session yesterday evening. We did a Clifton Strengths assessment and gained a much better understanding of how we can best utilize our strengths as a team. Now, before we dive into this, this is what the City of Muncie posted. This is not the satire page. This is not Munis. This is the City of Muncie. I've talked to many different people involved in various aspects of this. Specifically, I talked to a former person who was an HR personnel director for the City of Muncie. And a lot of you know who that is. It's Sarah Beach. And as Sarah stated, like they literally went up there for this. They could have done this on a Tuesday morning meeting. They could have taken the MMPI or any other personality test and saved the taxpayers tons of money. Tons of money. So, well, now, when you're saying, was there a quorum? There was only one council member there. So, no, there was not a quorum. The quorum only states, quorum only, hold on. Quorum only relates to the council, and so that's the first and foremost. That's that. But again, hadn't they been in the city of Muncie, and had this not been a major waste of money, there's a lot of this could have been handled at Muncie without there being a big issue. My thing is the effort that they claim they went out to put this out to go above and beyond, and then just because I was the only person that went up there, they're like, well, we'll kick him out. That's why I think that there could very well be, an issue as far as a lawsuit is concerned there. So I think that's important to know first and foremost. Okay. All right. Now, looking at this little graph they put up here, they're going through their strengths and weaknesses. Now, I'm going to put this down here, and this is now where we're going to look at, is this in order one, like click on one first? Okay. So we're going to click on this number 1 here. And I will post these out on social media when we're done here, and I will put the link in the description. Kate, can you send these to me in Messenger too? Send those 4 graphs to me if that's possible, so I can look at it along and so in Messenger, which would help me read it. So, in looking at those graphs, what Kate's done here is she's put a listing of people on here, and we're going to just break these down a couple at a time. So the first one, Dan Ridenour. Okay. So, does this go, Kate, does this go from left? Like, how does this, how does this?
So they number them.
Mm-hmm.
And that chart that they gave was their top 5 strengths of each one of these members of the administration.
Okay.
And so these are numbered from left to right, from 1 through 5.
Okay. So, for example, for Dan Ridenour, the achiever is 1.
It's, I'm pretty sure that's the way I did this.
Okay.
I have to look at the thing again. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you wrong, because I might have done it in reverse order, so that
Sure.
Their
5 to 1.
highest strength, right?
Okay.
So let me find it real quick, and I can tell you as soon as I find that stupid chart on the City of Muncie page. There it is. There's that bugger. Okay, so Dan. Nope, they are from his greatest strength to his 5th strength.
Okay, so it's from 1 to 5.
It's 1 to 5.
The achiever is his biggest, greatest strength.
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. So Dan Ridenour. So we'll on this form that they put there, it says achiever. People exceptionally talented in the achiever theme work hard and possess a great deal of stamina. They take immense satisfaction in being busy and productive. Okay. Now listen, while that says achiever, someone might try to spin this as in, look, he likes to achieve things and get things done. Let's understand that that's not. This is very similar, ladies and gentlemen, to like the personality test that, that says if somebody's an INFJ or an ENFJ or whatever. So like they'll talk about the adventurer and the teacher and the investigative mind. Those are things that they give, but it's not specifically like it doesn't mean what it means. So for example, the achiever doesn't mean he is exceptionally gifted at achieving things. It means he likes to stay busy. He could very well be staying busy at bullcrap, at getting nothing done. You know what I mean? I like to work at nothing all day. I'd be taking care of business. I can just think of, that's what that makes me think of. So, all right, going on. Learner, it says he's a learner. That's the green one. People exceptionally talented in the learner theme have a great desire to learn and want to continuously improve. The process of learning rather than the outcome excites them. That's important. Listen, the outcome is not particularly exciting to these people. It's the process along the way of learning and engaging and being involved in the process, and that's something that a lot of people have been criticizing him on as of late. Look, it's not the announcement that matters. It's the finished product, bro. Okay, moving on. Belief. All right, that's the one that's right there, dead center. People exceptionally talented in the belief theme have a certain core values that are unchanging. Out of these values emerge a defined purpose for their lives. He has a defined purpose for his mind. My purpose is to stay busy. Okay, I would like it if your purpose was to get things done. That would be cool. All right, moving on. Responsibility. Okay. People exceptionally talented in the responsibility theme take psychological ownership of what they say they will do. They are committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. Well, we see that this is not his greatest strength. It's the lowest strength. It's we're getting down to the lower side of his strengths. All right. And then his last was self-assurance. This is interesting. Self-assurance. People exceptionally talented in self-assurance theme feel confident in their ability to take risks and manage their own lives. They have inner compass that gives them certainty in their decisions. So I think that's interesting. I think that's very, very interesting here.
That could be summed up as Dan believes he's always right.
Yes, right. He's not willing to listen to other things and to believe that other people might have, the answer that he believes he's right. I want to look at a couple things that Brandon has said here. Brandon said, like saying you will allow people to attend the meeting. Yes, Brandon, absolutely. Let's see here. When is he going to get productive? Yeah, that would be nice. And I see we have a new person here that has entered the chat. Mr. or Miss Nakamoto, who is on a Henry County Sproles kick. I appreciate your Sproles We are dealing with the city of Muncie at the moment, but I definitely agree Sproles is a tyrant, and we will have Sproles news and content here directly. Not this episode specifically, but in the next upcoming days and weeks, I'm sure. But thank you for watching, and thank you for your input. And yes, I absolutely agree. Okay, moving on. Miss Wegley is next, and Mrs. Wegley is next. Wegley, her greatest strength on this test is realtor. People exceptionally talented in the realtor theme enjoy those relationships with others. They find deep satisfaction in working hard with friends to achieve a goal. That makes sense to me. That I'm the guy from the Sproles gender short. No way! Oh my God, I love that. All right, pause. We got to pause this just for 1 second. You're the dude that says like he's handcuffing and he slams you down. Oh my God. Are you on Twitter or Facebook? If so, you need to send me a Facebook message. If you are on Facebook or Twitter, you need to send me a Facebook message to Kristopher H. Bilbrey on Facebook. Kate just put it at the bottom of the screen. I called him bro. He said he wasn't a bro, so I called him ma'am. Yeah. If you're on Facebook, go to that Facebook page and send me a friend request. If you're not on Facebook, go to Twitter. If you're on Twitter, I don't know. But get a hold of me. No Facebook or Twitter. Well, damn it. Are you from Henry County? Send me an email to that email account. I would like to talk to you just off the record for a brief period, if we could. If you could send me an email to that email address, I would like to chat with you. Who the hell doesn't have Facebook or Twitter in today's world? That's amazing. I have kind of my hat's off to you, dude, for not having Facebook or Twitter. That's really amazing. All right, yeah, that's cool. Obviously I'm from Muncie, so yeah, send me an email if you get a chance, bro. I would like to. Yeah, that is weird too. GW, that's really strange. Honestly, we found this is like a you guys. This is like an outlier, group of outliers here. Okay. All right, moving on. So, what did Brandon say? I'd say her top talent is being rude and condescending to citizens on Facebook. That might be with Shireen. Shireen is really, really, really good at that. I would have to say that's probably her hidden talent. God, moving on. Her second is Maximizer. Good Lord. Like, who comes up with these names? People exceptionally talented in the Maximizer theme focus on strengths as a way to simulate personal and group excellence. They seek to transform something strong into something superb. That's not even a thing. That's a bunch of words. That's a bunch of bullcrap. And you notice her two things? You notice her two things are all about the group? That makes sense. She's like the head Danatic, and it's not about her. It's not about what she should be doing as a city employee, as an extension of Dan. It's about like Dan and having everything, happen cool for the group, for Dan. Don't make fun of me, Brandon. I've got kind of an issue with my sinuses. Oh, you mean Shireen? Yeah, right. I get it. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Shireen's like that, I guess. You know, it is what it
But
is.
it does explain her behavior on Facebook.
It does. It absolutely
Always
does.
trying to make everything look as good as humanly possible.
As good as possible.
Regardless of what the truth actually
What
is.
the truth is. Yeah. That's very interesting. Wow. They've paid these people good money for like a real thing. Like this is true. This is really true. All right, moving on. Discipline. Ooh, discipline. People exceptionally talented in the discipline theme enjoy routine and structure. Their world is best described by the order they create or the disorder they create.
Again, the Facebook behavior,
Mhm.
getting on there and talking horrible about citizens,
Yeah.
disciplining them for their own stupidity.
Yeah. Making sure that people that speak out against Ridenour pay, and they know how wrong they were for doing that, and you know, having very little patience for them, very little patience for anyone that dare speak outside of the norm. Moving on. She also has her second to last strength, same as Dan's, in responsibility. And again, hers, it's the same, you know, exceptional. They talented in responsibility theme, take psychological ownership of what they will do. They are committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. And look, if you believe the lie, you know, you believe that you're being honest. If you buy the lie you're selling, and I definitely think she is loyal. Obviously, she's loyal. You know, look, she's loyal to a fault. All right, moving on. Her last category is significance. This is interesting. People exceptionally talented in significance themes, wants to make a big impact. Definitely, she wants to make a big impact. They are independent and prioritize projects based on how much influence they will have on the organization of people around them. You know what I've always wondered when people fill these things out, when people do these things like this, when they're doing this crap, I always wonder, does Shireen fill this out by the way that she really, really is? Or does she fill this out by how she sees herself, how the way that she thinks that she is? Yeah, that's the thing. Absolutely. That's the end all be all. She believes that she's running the show. She is only pushing Dan as hard as she does because I think deep down she sees Dan exactly the way that we do. She just knows he leans on her, he needs her, and he lets her be who she is, and he lets her run amok. There have been so many times when Shireen has made Dan look bad, when Shireen being Shireen has been over the top, and anybody else would have sent her packing. Anybody else would have punished her and cut her off. But Dan doesn't do that. So she knows that she runs the show with Dan. So in her mind, she's running things that, just like GW said, she runs his email account. Listen, since day one, I knew that she answered the email that was for mayor of Muncie. That's common. Anybody that has the generic thing like that, they're not going to run. You know, when you start talking about like the mayor of Indianapolis, the mayor of New York can't answer their own emails, you know, when it's addressed to the mayor of New York, the mayor of Muncie. I get it. That being said, they still have a private freaking email account, and he used to answer it. But the fact that Shireen now monitors it and now answers for it is gross. It's wildly out of character for someone in that position. And in my opinion, it's highly inappropriate because he's the elected official. She is not. We can hold him accountable for his actions. We can't hold her accountable. That's why if or when she does something out of pocket as Dan, he has to pay for that. If he's not going to set her down and make her pay, well, then we make him pay for it. So that's that. But yeah, Kate's right. That shows why she's the boss. She thinks she's the boss. She is the boss. I don't know. That's some kind of thing that they need to decide. All right, moving on from there, Michelle Owen. Now, Michelle Owen is not really specifically a higher up in the administration per se. You would think that she would be, but they look at her as someone on the low tier. However, she has a high and important position that they really belittle, and they don't use her the way that they should. And really, if they would have allowed her to be in place the way she should have, she would have been a better character until she got intermixed with Dustin Clark and whatever happened there, because blah, that's a problem. But looking at Michelle Owen, now keep in mind, Michelle Owen is the communications director, okay? The communications director does not have communicating or communications or, any type of that as a strength of any of her 5 strengths. She does not have relationship building as any of her 5 strengths. She does not have.
Now, the first 2 are relationship building.
Okay.
The first 2 are relationship building in that category. But she doesn't have anything that has anything to do with influencing and trying to convince people.
Okay.
And the communication director, I think, should have that. But her relationship building ones, I think, are odd.
Okay.
Director.
Okay. That's what I was saying, because I just saw what you wrote there, that she doesn't have anything in the influencing strengths. But okay, so you're saying the first 2 are relationship building, but they're odd. So the first one, her biggest strength is empathy. And I think I could have probably told that if it's empathy used in the way that I would use empathy. But let's see what this test uses it as. People exceptionally talented in empathy theme can sense other people's feelings by imagining themselves in the lives or in others' lives or situations. Okay. I mean, good, I guess. That just kind of funky. Like, it might matter if she was a counselor or, a police officer, but or maybe even a public official, a public servant. But as the communications director, that is kind of a funky thing. But okay. Next is developer. People exceptionally talented in the developer theme recognize and cultivate the potential in others. They spot the signs of each small improvement and derive satisfaction from evidence of progress. So they like to see others improving, and they like to be a part of that, and they like to see the small little successes that people make along the way. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. Like, if we all had that would be good. But again, that doesn't. You would think if that's the case, then she would find ways to help be truthful in what she does. Oh, Space Cat, you're going to have to go back through and listen to all of this. I'm glad that you're back, and I hope that you will have time to, at some point, go back and listen to what we've covered so far. So yeah, that's funky. Moving on from there. What is the screen? Futuristic. Okay. People exceptionally talented in the futuristic theme are inspired by the future and what could be. They energize others with their visions of the future. Okay, that's again not a bad thing, but I'm starting to see a pattern here, and I will tell you at the end. Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. I mean, it'll be here for forevermore. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Next, ideation. I messed up. Come on and say it. Damn it. Come here, Kate.
Ideation.
I keep wanting to say an L in it. Ideation.
Ideation.
Yeah, ideation. I was going to say an L in it there. I'm still hearing it in my head. Ideation. People exceptionally talented in ideation theme are fascinated by ideas. They are able to find connection between seemingly disparate phenomena. Okay. So that again, all of her things are coming together. Okay. And I'm telling Alva, I'm telling you, I want to look here at this very last thing of hers, and I'm going to tell you what this so far all goes together. Okay. Let's see here. Blow this up here. Okay. All right. Intellection. People exceptionally talented in intellection theme are characterized by their intellectual activity. They are introspective and appreciate intellectual discussions. Okay. To me, okay. So to me, what this thing says is, as a person, she's like a dreamer. She's somebody that's like wants, and this is not bad. I'm not saying that there's not anything bad in what I'm going to say about Michelle. But what these little things is, she's somebody out here that's, has a very I don't want to say it because I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying this bad, but almost like a naive look at the world where she is wanting to. No, we're down talking Michelle Owens now. This is Michelle Owens. Michelle Owen. Sorry, no S. I always have to forget. I forget that too. She's looking at the world as in a very naive way and wanting to make it, a better place. And to me, it seems like there's a lot of other places that she might fit better in public service than communications director. Because honestly, I'll just be honest here. I've always felt she's extremely bad in this situation because I believe that she's an honest person. But I think that
this is the kind of person you want in charge of tourism.
Yeah. That's why she did so well with the whole idea of the solar deal. And this is why I think she's also someone that was sucked into a relationship where she was probably taken advantage of. Because she's young and gullible. Then maybe that's a way that we could say. And I don't mean that as disrespectful to her or being rude in any way, but I very much could see her being someone who is like, oh, we're going to make this great big party and it's going to be fun and it's going to be awesome and everyone's going to love it.
Event planning, tourism, something along those lines. She'd be fantastic. These are the qualities you want to see but not what I want to see in a communication director.
Yeah. Very, very strange. It does not fit with the communications at all. Okay, moving on. And this is, and I'm going to move a little bit faster through these because we've got 3 more lines to go, but I'm going to put these up. I will put these all up. So on this next batch, we've got Richard Ivey, Adam Leach, and Josh Talby. And that is an interesting, that's an interesting grouping. So what is this for Richard Ivey? Richard Ivey's biggest strength is woo. People exceptionally talented in the woo theme love the challenge of meeting new people. Oh, yes. That is Richard Ivey to a T. Meeting new people and winning them over. They derive satisfaction from breaking the ice and making connection with somebody. That is the absolute single best description of Richard Ivey, period. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. And this might be very this might be very strange. I like Ivey. I like Richard Ivey. Richard Ivey is very likable. He comes off as a likable person. I know that there are a lot of people that don't care for him. And I listen, I'm going to be honest, because I've heard a lot of people say this. There are a lot of people in Muncie's Black community that do not care for him. I can understand that. I can understand why people say it's not my place to say what their thoughts are. And I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to tell you this. I understand what they say. And I can see why they say what they say. Now, as far as my point of view, Ivey has always been up front and respectful with me. He's always been polite. Yes, Space Cat, you're right. He had no problem. He met me. He's like, Bilbrey, is that you? Come up and fist bump me. He's a great person to talk, to move it and to move or shake her. He's a used car salesman. He's a preacher. This strength is great for a deputy mayor. Meeting new people would be brilliant role to help the mayor. He could vet people, but he's highly underutilized. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the problem. He's not utilized in the role that he should be utilized in, because Dan likes to micromanage everything and do things with people that he shouldn't be doing with them. Getting back to Julie's point on Michelle, saying that the way that Michelle lies for Dan, I'll be honest, Michelle's in a very peculiar position. And I said this to her early on in her time as communications director. Her job, she's not the elected official. So her job is not to question him. Her job is to, when he says, put this press release out, she puts it out, and she's supposed to put some spin on it and make it look good. But if Dan is lying to her, that's all she knows. So I don't fault her for being lied to. if he's lying to her, which he is, or if he's tying her up in the lie and in the chaos, I don't fault her for that. That's what I'm saying there with her. Much like with Richard Ivy. If Dan utilized Richard Ivy in Ivy's strengths, Richard could be beneficial to him. But they don't do that. Right now, Richard is out at Prairie Creek taking care of Dustin's job, since Dustin is MIA. All right, moving on. Next, his strength is empathy. Of course, we saw that with Michelle. Then responsibility. Then I think that sometimes Michelle knows that she isn't giving out adequate information, but that's just from what I've seen and how she comes across. Yeah. That's the thing. I specifically know, for example, one of the craziest times I've seen is when the city of Muncie was going through the deal with the Muncie Inn, and they were throwing everybody out, and a citizen made a comment on a post that the city of Muncie had made. Shireen Wegley quickly responded back to the citizen in an extremely rude and out of touch manner, and was just way over the line. Michelle Owen then jumped on and responded in a kind way, saying, wait a minute, something happened. A citizen of Muncie used that in the different way. They thought they were using their own account, and they answered under the city of Muncie instead. We're sorry for this. We're not going to delete it. We're going to keep it here for transparency's sake, which I think was the right thing to do. But she then came on and cleaned that situation up. And I appreciated her doing that. And I think that she's in a very frustrated position because, of course, she could quit. And that is the argument that we have. And that I put to her, instead of going along with this, you could quit and go get a different job. There are things like that make sense. And so I definitely get it. And that's an adequate response, Julie. She shouldn't be taking part in this. If she doesn't like that if she is putting out information that she knows isn't true, she should leave. If she is not sure, she should have an idea. I don't think she's an idiot by any stretch. So she should be able to have an understanding. And so she has to make that decision. That's absolutely true. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying, I know that there are times, specifically early on, where she was caught in a truly between a rock and a hard place type of a situation. His second to last, Ivy's second to last strength is connectedness. People exceptionally talented in the connectedness theme have faith in the links among all things. They believe there are few coincidences and that almost every event has meaning. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a very kind of a new age type of, that whole sentence structure there was nuts. Alva. Restorative. People exceptionally talented in the restorative theme are adept at dealing with problems. They are good at figuring out what is wrong and resolving it. I think to a certain degree.
Is that a thing?
What?
Are there people who walk around their life and just assume nothing's wrong?
That's what I was saying. These last couple, and this whole thing is very kind of like
you can find what's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
Goody.
Like, thank you for being an adult.
Yeah. A lot of these things, you read them and you're like, welcome to grown-up life, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's really kind of I listen, I have a major interest in psychology and the study of the human personality and all of this, and at the same time I can also be like, yo, did they get this out of Cosmo? Like, what's the deal here? You know what I mean? Like the next test they took was like 15 ways to tell if your boyfriend is cheating on you. You know, 20 ways to make that special someone say yes and fall in love with you. You know what I mean? Like, this seems very high schoolish.
It seems like a desperate attempt to make everyone feel good about themselves. Understanding what people's strengths are is great. However, understanding where the holes are at in your team with people's weaknesses would be more productive use of time, because then you can find people to fit in who are going to make up those things that you're lacking. Giving everybody a pat on the back and going, oh, look, you can find problems. Oh, good. You like looking busy.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. That's exactly. Well, and the problem.
And that's what it feels like a lot of these things are. And the things that you would want to see from people. Now, sheriff. Mm-hmm. The sheriff is there. Chief of police. When you read through his, what I want in a police chief, those are strengths. For him.
Is he on here?
Yeah, he's on there.
Nate Sloan. Let's read.
Yeah, Nathan Sloan.
Okay. That's all right. Let's read.
Think about a cop and what you want a cop to be able to do.
Okay. Let's read Sloan. All right. So 1, he's an achiever. So when do the horoscopes come out? Yes, that's very much like this. Like this guy's the tiger on the Chinese calendar, and he's a Leo. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. So, okay,
yeah, this is built by Gallup.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Absolutely. So achiever. People, exceptionally talented achiever, work hard and possess great deal of stamina. They take immense satisfaction in being busy and productive. Responsibility. People exceptionally talented and responsibility themes take psychological ownership of what they say they will do. They are committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. Context. People exceptionally talented in the context theme enjoy thinking about the past. They understand the present and by researching its history. Analytical. People exceptionally talented in analytical themes search for reasons and causes. They have the ability to think about all factors that might be affect a situation. And deliberative. People exceptionally talented in deliberative themes are best described as by the what is that? I can't see it. Is it serious?
Hold on.
Serious care they take in making decisions or choices. They anticipate obstacles. Yeah. Yes. All 5 of those fit what you would want in a leadership, any kind of leadership. Specifically, would make sense for leadership of law enforcement. Makes sense. Now, I do think that there have been some serious lackings in the leadership in Muncie Police Department, and yada yada yada. That being said, that makes sense. That
his makes sense for the position that he's in.
Absolutely. Craig Wright. Let's look at Craig Wright's. Okay, Craig Wright's belief. Okay, Ridenour had that as well. Out of these values emerge defined purpose for their lives. Exceptionally talented in belief system have certain core values that are unchanging. Okay, responsibility. There again, they're going to say what they're do. They take psychological ownership of what they say they will do, and they are committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. Developer people exceptionally talented in the developer theme recognize and cultivate the potential in others. They spot the signs of each small improvement and derive satisfaction from evidence of progress. And the realtor and positivity. Now, positivity we've not read. People exceptionally talented in positivity theme have a contagious enthusiasm. They are upbeat and they can get others excited about what they are going to do. Wow, listen. I think he's filling this out with how he sees himself or how he wants to see himself, because that should be the lowest score for him possible. That Craig Wright, there is no get up and go inside him. There is no kind of excitement in him. I'm going to tell you guys, for any of you that have been here from the long ago, from before Ridenour, you all remember Niemeyer, who would get up every Board of Works meeting. He would get up and he would have a cutesy little thing that he would call himself city controller, master of coin, and inventor of the paperclip. Kevin Niemeyer, master of coin, and flip-flop wearer. And I was, by the end of that administration, I was like, good God, shut this guy up. But now we've literally got Mr. Clean, who seems like he is as milquetoast, like he's seriously could put me to sleep reading just the few moments of words that he reads to the Board of Works. It is beyond horrible, and it's just so bad. And I just think how bad it is. So I think that last thing there with him is a bit like far-fetched, but it is what it is. I think it's interesting. What is this no one category that you put together, Kate? You want to tell everybody what this is?
So this one was things that no one had in their top 5. No one in the administration scored anywhere in their top 5 in these categories.
Okay, so no one scored. None of the administration scored anywhere from 1 to 5 in individualization. People exceptionally talented in individualization theme are intrigued with the unique qualities of each person. They have a gift for figuring out how different people can work together productively. Like, I could see how that would be a very important aspect of being a mayor. Like, it would be cool if the mayor had that somewhere. If the mayor could realize that, hey, wait a minute, I'm the mayor of a city that has 60,000 people in it. Maybe I need to realize that all 60,000 of these people are different from one another, and they have different thoughts and hopes and dreams and wants and wishes and desires, and that they look at things differently. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they could see things, you know what I mean? Like, that's like that would be a good thing.
And again, looking for where you are lacking in your administration.
Sure.
Where do I need
Absolutely.
somebody to help fill this gap?
Yeah, absolutely. Next, nobody in the administration scored anywhere in any of their 5 points for the includer. People exceptionally and talented in the includer theme, except others. Nobody in the administration can, scored that. They show awareness of those who feel left out and make an effort to include them. Again, it would be nice if someone had this in their profile. Okay.
Especially when dealing with citizens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And then moving on, that just informs us that these people are unqualified for the position they're in. Yeah. Very good possibility. Okay, here.
There's an idea, Space Cat. Spend a day going over their weaknesses.
Well, absolutely. That's what you would think that this would be about. Would you not think that this would be like about trying to build up on the weaknesses? For the love of God, that's crazy to me. Yeah. Okay. So the third one here, competition. People exceptionally talented in the competition theme measure their progress against the performance of others. They strive to win first place and revel in contests. Again, a good thing for a winner to have, someone that's a top dog, someone that's going to take us from point A to point B. Be a good place for the mayor, be a good place for the deputy mayor, be a good place for any of his high up important, the even within the administration, you have the people who are the bottom tier and the higher tier. Anybody in the leadership, it would make sense. The leadership circle of the administration would make sense that they had this. Okay, moving on from there. Oh, look at this. Listen to this. No one in the mayor of Muncie's administration had communication anywhere in their top 5. No Ridenour, Wegley, Michelle Owen, the communications director, Ivy, Adam Leach, Josh Tolby, Craig Wright, Nathan Sloan, Matthew Wegley. No one had communication in there. People exceptionally talented in the communication theme generally find it easy to put their thoughts into words. They are good conversationalists and presenters. What? I mean, that's just comical.
That's a huge lack.
That's nuts. That's nuts to think about that. Yeah, I know, right? However, she excelled in the asshole communication aspect. It's amazing. It's right. Absolutely. Sure. Michelle Owen wrote a super Kush Peas on Wagley, and constantly. I remember when they did that to me, because she was really getting beat up, and I think that was a commissioned piece. I think that Shireen commissioned that to be done so she could feel better about herself. It's like, what? It's like,
Shireen told Dan to tell Michelle that it had to be done.
Right. That's like telling your girlfriend, like, tell me, I'm, your favorite, your best, get out of here. Like, if
my husband telling me that he thinks I'm hot. Well, you're kind of stuck with that, You're obligated to say that. So.
Right. Yes. Thank you for telling me something that you have to tell me.
Right.
Okay, moving on from there. Activator. People exceptionally talented. No one had this. Okay, no one had this. People exceptionally talented in the activator theme can make things happen by turning thoughts into actions. They want to do things now rather than simply talk about them.
Oh, this administration needs someone like that desperately.
Yeah, right. Like if only one of them would be like that, maybe it would be good. But nobody has
they
that.
have a whole group of people who are in love with this idea. They love the idea. Actually accomplishing the idea is different than, yeah. But
It's
no one.
shocking. It is absolutely shocking. Oh, I will. Yes. We'll go back to it. Well, I'll go back to that.
These will be posted on social media.
And
too.
I will post this on social media. You'll be able to find a link to this because I know it's hard for you guys to see. We will post a link on Facebook and Twitter. There will be a link inside the description of this YouTube channel where you can click and get directly to the pictures. And then last is the command. People exceptionally talented in the command theme have presence. They can take control of a situation and make decisions.
Oh, that would be a great trait for a mayor too.
Listen, the fact that not no way. The fact that not one of these people have any of those in these little areas is ludicrous. Okay. Adam Leach. Learner. People exceptionally talented in the learner theme have a great desire to learn and want to continuously improve. The process of learning rather than the outcome excites them. Okay. Again, Ridenour had that. That's fine to be somewhere in the personality. But I think for a city engineer, for that to be the top line is nuts to me. The fact that the city engineer, has a personality where his strongest strength is thinking about something rather than accomplishing something. Listen, my brother's an engineer. That is not, my brother loves learning, but my brother loves getting stuff done. He's all about designing. He's all about the thought. He's all about the process. He's all about the idea. But then he's even more than any of that. He's about doing the action. And more importantly than that, there's nothing better than completing a project and then starting all over with another project. There's nothing like the finishing a project. Adam Leach doesn't, his top thing is I'm the process of learning about my thoughts is better than thinking about my thoughts and seeing my thoughts to through to fruition. Nah, that's nuts, man. Restorative. His second is restorative. People exceptionally talented in restorative themes are adept at dealing with problems. They are good at figuring out what is wrong and resolving it. All right, that fits well. I'll give it to him. I'll give that to him. That's a pretty decent number 2 strength. I will give him that. I'm okay with that. That's I'm down with that. I think that's okay. Okay. Moving on. Intellection. People exceptionally talented in intellection theme are characterized by their intellectual activity. They are introspective and appreciate intellectual discussions. Talked about that. Arranger. People exceptionally talented in the arranger theme can organize, but they also have the flexibility that complements this ability. They like to determine how all of the pieces and resources can be arranged for maximum productivity, and they like to shower and take pictures of themselves in the shower. Now, this fits Adam perfectly. I understand this is exactly what a city engineer, this makes sense, fitting the pieces together and showering while you're having your cell phone and taking pictures while showering. That is stuff that makes perfect sense to me for Adam. So that's his number 3. Why would you want to see anything? Yeah, right. Why would you? That showering bit is a joke. Don't we all do that? Yeah, right. Yeah, yes. Ideation is the last one. People exceptionally talented in the ideation theme are fascinated with ideas. They are able to find connections between seemingly disparate phenomena. And so, listen, that I can understand where some of those fit in with Adam, but he's definitely lacking in some areas. He's definitely lacking in some areas. Does he have the ability to sit down at his desk, lock his door, and have sexy time texting with some person from God knows where? Yes, he's got that ability. He's got that ability.
Again, an activator in this would be great.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, sure.
And the command, making decisions,
the command. Yeah.
Finishing the project.
Yeah.
That's, these would be great for a city engineer to be exhibiting. There are huge gaping holes in this administration. That's all this test did, was show us the holes, but gave them all a reason to pat themselves on the back.
Well, let me tell you why I think that might be. I think that might be because Dan said, I don't think that anyone other than Dan and Shireen would say that he excels at everything. That who? Shireen thinks who's great? Shireen thinks Dan's great, or Shireen thinks Adam is great? She thinks both of them is great. Because let me Dan told us he was going to put the best people in these positions. Period. It was not going to be political promises. It was not going to be a thing where he gave jobs to friends or jobs to people who wanted them because they helped on the campaign. He was not going to do that. That was not going to be, okay, that's what I thought you meant. Dan was not going to do that. But keep in mind, 14, 15 of those people have been fired or let go or quit. The people that he put in the positions are all gone. The people now in these positions are the second string or the third string. They're the bench warmers that he's called up. We've got to the part where, I think he's now taking people from prison. What is that? The whole 9 yards or the last 9 yards or whatever that thing was, any given Sunday. Oh, I forget whatever those stupid football, where they take the people
The
from
replacements.
the replacements. I knew it was one of them. Yeah, that's what we got going on here. That's who Dan is working with, the replacements. I'm actually shocked that you got that, Kate. That's amazing. That's amazing. Hold on, let me get back here to the comments. Are we going to have an inmate as the next civil engineer? Yeah, right. We very well good possibility. Yes, Shireen also thinks Shireen's great. Yeah, it's very true. No, listen. Shireen thinks Shireen is great. Shireen thinks Dan is great. Shireen thinks Adam is great. Dan thinks Shireen is great. Dan thinks Dan is great. And Dan thinks Adam is great. Adam thinks he's great, and Adam likes texting people pictures of his naked body while making breakfast, and naked body while showering, naked body while sitting in his office at work. Space Cat. That's very true. That's very true. There's a couple of other people that might be on that list with me, but I would be very top of that list. I'm sure I would be up there. That's funny. So, yeah, they are all great. Just ask them. Yeah, right. That's where we are. And that's what they learned. They could have done every bit of this here at home. Why they released this document, I have no idea. Because I can't spin the document in a good way. Can you, Kate? I don't understand. This whole exercise was stroking egos, not finding ways for the administration to actually improve. How do you convince people they can do better when all you do is tell them how great they are at X, Y, and Z? That's very, very true. That's very that's a very true statement. Give me a second here. I want to look and see if I can find this. 7. Muncie. Board of Works meeting. (2019). Okay, videos. It shouldn't be this hard. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. Next time, next time we come back here, because I'm not gonna keep you on while I'm going back through and looking, because it'll take forever. But next time we're on, I will have for you a video from the Muncie Board of Works. Oh, let me try to do it another way. Give me 1 second. Let me try to do it on Google. Have you ever noticed it's hard to search anything up actually on Facebook? No, you can't do it here either. So here's what I'm going to do. Next time, not tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday will be a good time to do it, because I was talking about that deal with with Kevin Niemeyer. I will have a copy of that pulled up from some Board of Works meeting in 2019 or 2018, and I'll show you guys the difference between Craig and the old controller. So before we roll out of here, a couple things. Number one, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Delaware County Council meeting, a very big and important council meeting. It will be live streaming right here at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's normally not said. 9 a.m. Eastern in the morning, right here tomorrow morning, a live on location Delaware County Council live streaming meeting. You'll be able to watch it here. Then, 12 hours from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, at 12 hours later, 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday evening, June 25th, we will do a complete rundown, breakdown, analysis, commentary of what occurred in yesterday's, well, not yesterday's, I guess. Tomorrow it'll be tomorrow's council meeting. You know what I'm talking about. So that will be that. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. Eastern. And both of those will have to do with tomorrow's Delaware County Council meeting, and the meeting in the morning will be the meeting, and then the video in the evening will be the breakdown of that meeting. So tune in for that. On Wednesday, we will then take a look at the Board of Works from Wednesday. We will also look at the community video that Dan will release more than likely tomorrow. We will also look at the community video that he released last week, because we did not look at that. And we'll also look at the comparison with the old controller. Space Cat says, did you happen to hear anything else that you didn't know about what happened at the Dan camp? No. I'm waiting to hear from a couple of sources about what happened the next day, but I've still not talked with them or heard from them yet. So I don't know anything more than what we went over tonight. Those pictures of those things that we put in order, along with the picture of the original thing that the city put out, will be posted on social media shortly. So I want to let you guys know that. And you will also be able to get a copy of it within the description of this very video. So there's that. Oh, and kind of as a late breaking news, the state of Indiana Republican Party today picked its new Republican chairman at 10 a.m. this morning. The Republican committee picked their new chair, and I will tell you that it is going to be absolutely just completely ripe for all kinds of jokes. I will say that I did get it wrong. I stated last week that it would be the woman, Jan, I forget her last name, from Du Bois County. That's who I said it would be. I was shocked that it wasn't. But I was not shocked that it was this tool. I was not shocked at all. So the man on the screen that you're looking at, his name is Randy Head. But his friends just call him Dick. Randy Head was unanimously elected as the chair of the Indiana Republican Party this morning at 10 rather. I've got 9 on the brain. Indiana Republican State Committee met at 10 a.m. Today, Monday, June 24th, 2024, to elect a new chairman. He was the 4th district chair. Randy Head was elected unanimously by the committee to serve as the next chairman of the Indiana Republican Party. Randy Head received his bachelor's degree from Wabash College in 1991. His law degree from Indiana University Maurer School of Law in 94. He has served as a deputy prosecuting attorney, and he has served as a civil practice attorney for a collective of 28 years. Mr. Head has also served as a state senator, not United States, as an Indiana state senator for 11 years, authoring over 70 bills that become law. Randy Head is currently a member of the Indiana Republican State Committee, where he has served for 3 years. And if any of you just recently were Republican delegates, you will recognize him as the, no pun intended, head of the convention, the 2024 convention. The head was Mr. Head, and he was the head of the convention. So that should make you peek your little head up. Here in a minute, we'll talk about that. Newly elected chairman Randy Dick Head released the following statements after the election today. I would first like to express my gratitude to the state committee for their unanimous support. Having served on the state committee, I have good relationships with its members because that's what matters. And I am ready to hit the ground running. Luckily, Chairwoman Hathaway has put the party in a great position. And I look forward to working with her and the rest of the state committee to continue the Republican Party's streak of successes in Indiana. I would finally like to thank Senator Braun for his recommendation. We are ready to come together and make sure the Republicans are sprinting across the finish lines this fall. The Republican gubernatorial candidate for the state of Indiana, Senator Mike Braun also released a statement about Head's election as chairman. Braun said, I would also like to thank Anne Hathaway for leading our party over the last 10 months. Woo! And express my gratitude that she will remain as the state committee at the state committee as our national committee woman. Congratulations to Randy Head on his unanimous election to serve as our party's next chair. Last week, I met with state committee to put my full support behind Randy. That should have scared him. Look what happened last person Braun put their support behind. As he served the Republican Party in many different facets over the years, I look forward to working with him to ensure the Republican victories across the state come November. And there you see Chairman Head. I think he is an establishment hack, and it is what it is. He is of no concern, of no issue to me. I think he's a washed up, has been, never was somebody that jumps when they say jump. And, the only question is how high and how long do I have to stand here? He is part of the problem, not part of the solution. And it is what it is. So that's that. So yeah, he'll do as he's told, and sis boom ba. What I think is interesting is what a shot back at the grassroots conservatives who went to the convention and shot down the establishment pick for McGuire, taking Beckwith. And then because of that, Hathaway steps down. And they're like, well, who can we appoint to lead the party now? Oh, we will appoint the person that ran the convention. Clearly, someone who is in opposition to Beckwith. They could have maybe tried to go somewhere with someone kind of somewhere in the middle, but they decided not to, and they went strictly straight establishment hack, and that's who we've got. So it is what it is. Rainwater is the answer to all of the bullshit that they push upon us. And that brings us to that great question. Let me take a look because I want to show you tell you which. You will do the one that says backing outro. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, please, as I told you when we came in, before Kate joined us, remember we are in the 175th day without a response from Counselor Basham. Sad days are upon us because of that. It's so sad. Please do us a favor and go over here and do any of these things if you haven't before you leave. Remember, we will be back here tomorrow morning, so tune in 9 a.m. if you want to hear the meeting, 9 p.m. if you want to hear our breakdown, and we'll see what we can do. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday evening. Have a great Tuesday, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. sharp for the episode 231. You guys have a great night. Take care. Good night. Goodbye. God bless. Everybody,